Guys, well, got a bunch to do today, so we're back on the second channel. If you guys haven't subscribed to it, this is where mostly house stuff happens and me doing just farm related stuff. I don't want to call it a farm because it kind of damaging to people that actually have a legit farm. I just have a faux farm, I guess you call it, the Bugatti faux farm. Been trying to get my pool back to be blue. It's pretty green right now, probably because we get so much rain this time of year that like it'll literally fill up like 6 inches in one night of just rainwater, and that completely adds algae and ruins the pH and all that good stuff. And it's a pretty big pool. It's 11 feet deep, 12 feet deepish in the middle, so you guys can kind of estimate how big that is. It's pretty deep pool, a lot of water. So when you do have to change the chemicals like this, it's not cheap or easy. Takes a big job. Honestly, I didn't want a pool when we bought this house. I just liked the house and the yard and the shop, and it happened to have a pool. I did not want a pool, but here I am with a pool. So things that I have to do, let's talk. Oh, also wanted to say, Bronte gave me a haircut the other day. First time she's ever cut my hair. I didn't feel like going to the barber, so I just used the razor that I use on my face and put a different attachment on it, and we went after it. Doggos, how you doing? Chickens hanging out. So also grapefruit tree here, and we just got this yesterday. This is a avocado tree. It's about 4 or 5 years old ish. I think he has it written here. It's a super Haas avocado. Should be blooming in November to January. Just dripped. Should be blooming in November to January. I don't know exactly where I'm putting it yet. I do like this spot. It's not really getting a lot of sun right now, but it usually does get a lot more sun. Those are usually not as grown in as they are right now, and I usually trim them up anyways. But this is kind of one of my spots of choice. I'm debating between like here, or honestly I don't really have any other good spots because this is like good soil. It's good distance from the grapefruit tree. It's not in the way of anything. You know, anywhere else over here is going to be irritating for cars, trucks, trailers, anything going that way. Over there is all shade for the most part. These big oak trees create so much shade. But other than that, I don't know. Just trying to decide. I don't have to decide yet. I mean, it's spent this long in a pot. It can spend a little bit longer. Don't mind my hot tub. It has never worked since we moved in. Honestly, I thought about turning that into a fish farm, and I may still turn it into a fish farm, but it's one of those deals where it never worked. Even when I first moved in here, we had somebody come look at it, and he was like, yeah, it's probably just cheaper to get a new one. And I'm like, I ain't buying a new one. But this screen ripped. I got all this stuff to fix it, so time to fix this screen here. Yep, shouldn't be too bad. Up there is a little bit annoying maybe, but pretty big screens on this thing, on the birdcage. All right, I got the old screen out. Now we just have a giant gaping hole. That upper one is probably gonna have to be replaced next. She's trying to play with the chickens, but they don't want to play with her. Well, this is definitely not the same screen, but this screen is probably from, you know, like 2002 or something around there. So obviously I'm not gonna find the same one. This one is a lot more shady screen, so that's interesting. It's very hard to see through. It'll be interesting to see how this one looks compared to the other ones, but let's get to it. Well guys, I kind of made a random decision. I was out and I was talking to Juan at Faster Proms, and he was like, hey, do you want ducks? I have a person that's trying to rehome a bunch of ducks. And I was like, you know, I'm not really prepared to have ducks. I don't really have a spot for them, but sure. So I grabbed 3 of them, and here we are. Bronte, what do you think? You like the ducks?
I'm excited.
Yeah, they're kind of cute. They're kind of cute. So
Really cute.
Hopefully everybody's still young enough. The chickens and the ducks are about the same age, it looks like, to where they can be in there with the chickens. They'll probably, the chickens will take the coop, but ducks really just kind of go in like a little flock in the corner. They'll just kind of hang out. They don't really need like a coop necessarily. They just like a roof over their head and they'll be happy, but they need some water to hang out in and splash around in, and that's about it. They're pretty simple animals, but they're a little more protective. Yeah, they're a little more protective than, say, like a chicken is, so hopefully they'll help defend them. And if one of them's a male, we might have to get rid of it, because the male, they call them drakes. A male duck is called a drake, and they can be a little mean. Yeah, that's duck food.
Do the chickens not have it?
I don't know, they probably can. It's probably fine.
Be in the same house, the ducks are probably gonna eat the chicken food.
Yep, they'll figure it out. I wonder if I can give them some. We got 2 ducks in there, as you can see. I've had them in here 2 days now, and they've been pretty good. The chickens and the ducks don't really bother with each other. I don't know if they're boy or girls yet, so that's something we're gonna have to figure out. If it is a boy, if one of them are boys, we're gonna have to you know, send it on its way and release it into the wild, or hopefully it'll be good, but probably not, because you don't want to keep boy ducks with girl chickens. They call them drakes, so you don't want a drake with your chickens. But as you can see, unfortunately there's 2 of them in there, not 3. If you guys saw, Bronte posted a TikTok. I don't know if anybody even watches that also watches this, but Bronte posted a picture, and I rescued 3 of them from somebody who had 2 dozen ducks that just hatched out of nowhere. They were like, oh, we didn't think we were gonna have baby ducks, and then they just hatched. So if you can take all of them, please do. And I was like, I could take 3. Took 3 and got them home, let them walk around the yard. They were walking around the yard, doing fine, hours of walking around the yard, and all of a sudden, they escaped. I was standing here watching them, whatnot, and over here, my fence is a little low, and I didn't think that they were gonna tuck under there, but if you know ducks, they are very, very prone to escaping, and I saw 2 of them go under there, those 2, go under there and dart over that way. So I chased those 2. The other one was sitting here, Bronte was standing by, the dogs were out. Bronte runs to get the dogs inside, and the one is here, and then I get the other 2 after chasing them for probably about 45 minutes. Finally got them. Ducks are hard to catch. Finally got them, come back, and the other one's gone. So the 3rd duck is gone. Next door, there's like a huge amount of bushes over there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's like, my neighbors have like a bunch of ferns and stuff, and I think it just tucked right into there and hasn't come back, unfortunately. So thankfully it is a duck. It can survive in the wild. It can do okay out there. There's a bunch of ponds in this area, but I feel pretty bad that it escaped and made it out. But what does it want me to do? I tried giving it a home. I gave it food, I gave it all this stuff, and I know this coop is too small for the chickens we have now, but once they as they keep growing, I am going to expand it. But for now, it's okay. Hopefully the ducks are just free roam, and the chickens will just free roam every day anyways, and the ducks don't go up inside the coop. The ducks will honestly probably just tuck anywhere in the corner or whatever. Oh, we got a little chicken fight. Well, it's not pretty, but it should hold for now. So this whole fence needs to be redone. It's pretty bad all the way around. There's so many patches and stuff, and so many tore up spots. But if you guys know anything about lumber prices right now, it's not exactly the best time to replace a fence, nor do I really feel like spending the money on a fence right now. And I really got to plan out how we're gonna do it, because if we redo the whole fencing, I want to section off the yard a little differently so that there's, you know, spots for animals when we're doing it. Like, might as well have the fence company put up, like, or at least if I'm doing the fence, have the fencing done in a way to where the plants and animals kind of have their own sections. That's my thought. So no reason to go all out on that yet, but just patching with spare wood for now. So little piece of scrap at the bottom there should be enough. This is still a little questionable, but I'm not, that's pretty short. They would have to really work to get out of there, but you never know. Freaking ducks are crazy like that. So that's where we're at. I know the fence sucks, guys. I hate it. I would love to redo it with some nicer fencing, but it's on the list. Hopefully in the next maybe 2 years, I guess, when lumber prices come down a little bit. Or I mean, it's probably going to be, the lumber looks nicer, but it's probably going to be chain link with wooden fence. But regardless, both are expensive right now, so if I can hold off, I'm going to. And if I can keep patching it until the time comes to redo the whole thing, that's my move. So that's where I'm at. So that's my thought process. But little patch. All right, time to finish off the pump for the IBC tote over here. So I got this CTP 2800, plugs right in and drops down to the bottom, and then you put a little 3/4 inch hose on there, and then I got a couple of 1/4 turn valves hooked on there, a couple of T fittings, and then these are all like the fittings that came with that, depending on what size output you want. We don't need a huge one. We don't need fast flow or huge flow. We just need consistent flow that can fill up the top. And then here's the hose right here. Trying to get it a little hot in the sun over here, see if it can, you know, be a little more malleable. Right now it's tough to get the hose barb on there, but that's good because if I can get it on there, it's gonna stay on there, and I hope to not have to use clamps, because I just don't want more clamps and stuff in there to potentially affect the pH or anything like that. So the less things I can use in the tank, the better. But other than that, I'm just gonna drop it down right into this corner, probably run the hose up through here to kind of pinch it, and then run it right in like that so it can constantly fill up here. Put a little filter here so it catches all the large debris, and then plug it into the house for now until we do solar or something. So just got to start doing this, and I'm going to do a T-fitting over here so I can regulate how much water is going back in, so I can regulate how fast this fills up from right here, and then it'll also help aerate the water constantly. So the pump kind of serves two purposes if you use it right. Okay, so this is how I did it. I ran the hoses up. Everything looks like it's sealed pretty well. Even if it does leak, it's not that big of a deal. But right here, we can adjust how much flow comes out up top, up here, so we can speed it up using both of these. This will help aerate the water, especially in these hot months. And then this will go up to the top, and it'll constantly all day fill and then drain back. And this will just constantly all day do this right here. So that's exactly how it should go. I'm filling it up now so we can start letting it fill and drain. Just waiting on the clay media. I guess I should start timing. Well, you can't really time how long it'll take to fill and drain until you have your clay in there, because you want it to cycle every like 30 minutes at least once, up and down. So you want a pretty good amount of flow, and there is some adjustment on the pump. But for now, I think this is a good starting point. And we'll let this kind of rip. I'll play with the knobs a little bit and see what we can do. But looks pretty good thus far. Doesn't look like it's leaking in the middle, which is cool because I didn't feel like sealing that with anything. And a little bit of drip isn't really an issue because that's basically what it does anyways. So pretty good. I used some strategic zip ties here to hold it on this angle, and this hose worked great. So super pumped with this. Now just let this keep rocking. Put the media and the plants up top, and then once everything's kind of flowing and on its own trajectory where I don't have to interfere with it too much, we can drop some fish in here. Some little fingerling, tilapia, maybe some catfish. I don't know yet. Definitely tilapia. I'm not sure if I'm ready for catfish or like bass, but maybe that'll happen. So time to put like 300 some odd gallons in there and let this thing eat for a little while. Ducks are doing great, the two of them. I think they're a little sad that they're missing their third, but there was like 10 of them when I got them, so it's not like they're really... Whoa. One of the chickens has something that looks delicious. It looked like a big worm, so they're all kind of fighting for it. But yeah, that's where it's at. So I will update you guys on part 3 of my fish tank here, and we can talk about it next time. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, advice, anything along those lines, put them in the comments below. But that'll do it. Thanks for watching. Keep it saucy. I'll see you next time.